Hi there, I am Tracy Otsuka, and I run a self-development company called Coretography that teaches you how to make decisions and figure out your whole life's purpose in one afternoon, or I should say starting in one afternoon. Anyway, we do not do counseling, we don't do therapy or coaching. We offer an analytical 6-step system that teaches you how to coach yourself, because our belief is that you are always the best expert on you. So over the next week, I am going to be giving you the 6-step Coretography system, and I'm doing it one step at a time. Yesterday, we talked about how the most important thing you can do in building a solid foundation of who you are is to get crystal clear on what it is that you value exactly. Now, values, they're the principles, beliefs, and ideas that are most important to you. They are what you stand for. And so what you want to make sure of is that what you value is in alignment with what you actually do. So today we're going to talk about step 2, and we're going to move you into what you do, or what we should do, because if we can align who we are and what we believe, so those are our values, with what we're good at, what we're passionate about, what we love to do, then, we're just naturally happier. And the goal is always happiness, right? So how do we do that? Well, we're looking for overlap. What we want is we want our values to align with our superpowers and our passions. What am I talking about? Okay, so I am going to start with talents, and that is the way we're going to teach what a superpower actually is. So what I want you to do is you're going to list your talents. Your talents are those things that you're just born naturally good at. They come really easy to you. Like, for example, a musical talent. You were born let's just say you were born great at the piano. From the time you were a little kid, there was just something about you that you took to the piano, and now you're really, really good at it. If you're 6'9" and you're a basketball player, well, that's another talent, right? You were lucky enough to be born with the genetics to grow to the height of 6'9". Creativity is another example. An ability with people is yet another. So you just want to look at what has just always been easy for you from the time you were a child. Then our second step is we're going to figure out what our skills are. Now, Malcolm Gladwell, he has a philosophy that if you practice something and you work on something and put 10,000 hours into it, you're going to become an expert at that. So for our purposes, you don't have to have mastered that skill just yet, but you need to know that if you put the time and energy into it, if you put the 10,000 hours into it, you could make that a skill. So from there, we go to our superpowers. And our superpowers are when you build skills around your natural talents, you develop them into superpowers. And I don't even want to hear that you don't know what your superpowers are, or that you don't have a superpower. I promise you, everybody has a superpower. Your superpower is what comes really easy to you. And often you don't even see it as a superpower. You don't see it as anything great. Again, it can be a raw talent. If you're an amazing musician or you're a phenomenal athlete, it can be your spot on intuition, your magnetism with people. It can be about throwing parties. If you're a really great party planner, it can be about, that you're a great mathematician. Or you're like my neighbor Christine, who is truly the horse whisperer. That is definitely a superpower. So your superpower, it's what friends come to you for. And keep in mind, you're the expert on you, but this is one of 2 times that I'm going to say, look, if you're totally stuck, you can go ask your friends, you can go ask your parents, whomever is supportive and positive, you can go ask them, what is it that you think that I have natural talent for? That, when I was a child, you thought, oh my God, she or he, they're just better at this than most people are. Okay, so once we get through our superpowers, then we're going to look at our passions. What is a passion? Passion comes from within. Passion is nothing more than energy. It's what you love to do, what you could do all day. You lose track of time. You just love it. And you may not even be that great at it yet, but you're so interested in learning more about it that you're willing to make a fool out of yourself in order to learn it. So passion can involve just about anything, again, that you love. You're going to see that we've got a lot of overlap going on here, and it's really about the overlap. So passion can be an activity. It can be writing. It can be music and entrepreneurialism. You know, you're building a business. It can be a cause. It can be about animals, children, politics, nature, social justice, the environment. Or it can be a thing like, oh, I love to cook, I love food, or I love fashion, or I love cars, or it can be about hair. It can literally be about anything. The key to passion, though, is passion is selfish. It's inner-oriented, it's internally motivated, it's all about you and what you love doing. So it doesn't have to be good for the world, and we're going to go into this more in future steps, but just know that just because you're passionate about something does not mean that you're necessarily going to be happy doing it long term. One more thing that I want to say about passion. So the growth of passion is the result of action. It is not the other way around. You know, I often have students coming to me and they'll tell me, you know, oh, well, I was so passionate about, oh, I don't know, photography, or I was so passionate about, running my business. And then all of a sudden it just kind of went away. And I just wasn't as motivated, and I wasn't as passionate about doing what it was that I loved so much. Well, I have news for you. You actually become more passionate about what you're working on the more you work on it. So when you're starting to feel like you're not that excited or motivated, you need to work harder. Passion, that's my bulldog. Passion will usually come back with a vengeance if you just work harder at it. Don't give up. So you may have a lot of passions here on your list. Which one do you pick? I want you to pick the one that best aligns with your superpowers, so that overlaps with your superpowers. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to look for where your values, your superpowers, and your passions intersect. And that sweet spot that we talked about at the very beginning, that's where you should spend your time and energy. That's what you should be doing. Okay, so under this live video, or maybe it's above it, I can never remember, there's a link to our free decision decoder. And that will get you started if you'd like a little bit more help. So I will see you tomorrow on step 3. And step 3 is going to be all about purpose. Big, bad purpose. And everybody makes such a big deal about purpose. And I am going to tell you it is not that big of a deal. Hi, Sandra. How are you? Thanks for joining me here. Okay, so I'll see the rest of you tomorrow. And we'll talk about passions. Purpose, not passions. We just did that.